This should be a short video um, where I was asked if the second Magia is required. It isn't. I like running two and having a spare for a backup just in case they destroy the first one or negate it with Dark Ruler no more. I like having the option of setting up for a second Magia so that the second one will have its negates. Like it has its benefits, but you do not need it. And I like OTKing with summoning two Magias. I'm gonna showcase a combo where all you need is basically wishes, and if you have one or the other, whether it's Roar or Ultimate Fusion, you can end up with both Magias. But I'll show you alternatives. If you don't want to run two, you really don't. They're cheap to me. I'm also a retired veteran, so what might be considered cheap to me might not be considered cheap to anybody else who isn't at the level I'm at in life. I guess it's not to be disrespectful. It's not anything like that. But I grew up homeless and poor, so it's like to me, I can afford it now and all the things I love. And $30 isn't that bad compared to other cards. You can get a $30 Magia versus a $30 Lordy Load. But I'm gonna showcase the combo and alternatives even within the setup. Um, so all you need is two wishes or any wishes in a discard, and if you have Raw or the other one, it adds the second Magia. So you would, you know, I'm using these also because this is needed for the second Magia. To equip. Otherwise, the first one will be hard summoned, and you go from there. So you would just use it, and you'll search out Ultimate Fusion and Sage. And this way, you don't use the trap or anything else. You're just going for Magia. So it all depends on your hand. So you would summon Sage, search out Priestess. She is needed because she helps set up for both. So then you link away. You would go into the link one, which will get you the field card. Play said field card. Then you get an additional normal summon of a level 1 light tuner. Then you're going to use her. Use the field card, target her, tribute her to get your chaos, which is needed, and any other blue eyes card. So right now you're fulfilling the requirements to have any 3 blue eyes and a chaos monster, and then you dump a blue eyes because that has to resolve. Then you're gonna use Spirit's Effect to special blue eyes. Now since you have blue eyes on the field, when you play Roar, you can special summon any blue eyes card since you have the vanilla on the field. Otherwise you would have to play the vanilla, but it also locks you into dragons, but that's the premise of the whole deck. So you play Roar to get out Abyss. And since Abyss requires blue eyes to activate both its effects, it's on summon effect. You would search out Poly. If you want to go for a ritual TK, you can search out Chaos Form to go for that. It all depends on what you want to do in your line of play. So now you have the 4 requirements for the hard summon, but you have to remember to banish one of the wishes so that you can equip ultimate. So that way this will give you your follow-up for the second Magia, which is what I do. Or you can do multiple things from this point on. So I'm gonna finish the combo and then I'm gonna go back and show you alternatives. So then you would poly for the first Magia, because the requirements are any 3 blue eyes cards and a chaos. And now since you have ultimate and chaos in the graveyard, you can play ultimate fusion by putting back and returning to deck. for the second Magia. They both don't get their negates as it's worded, as it's ruled. Um, but like I said, sometimes you can save this and just sit on one Magia, so that way, if they Dark Ruler no more, this one will fully get negated. Um, if they go Forbidden Droplet, they'll negate it. They'll play the spell card that bounces it back and you can't respond. That way, this would at least get you a second Magia alive. And then they already wasted one card, especially if they Droplet. They went -2 to negate one, and then you just bring out the other one. So then you still have 3 negates live, while they just got rid of 2 cards. But you could do multiple things, and then it's like, these are 2 5,000 monsters, so it's like it's hard to get over anyways. And they both would float. That is not a once per turn, it's once per copy. Another thing I was thinking about doing is, since they're both 12, is just to overlay for Dragon Master Lords. It's 2 12s, and it pierces if you have 25 or more in your graveyard and so forth. But this should be more than, that's way more than enough. And then when you negate something, if you negated its effect, not the activation, your jet is live because your Blue Eyes is in graveyard. So it's like, then you just get protection, and you did all of this without the other ones. Rewinding a little to the point. This is still in hand. That's in hand. That's field. From this point, it's like, you still gotta banish your wishes so that we are here. You don't need the second Magia. You can go into other plays from here. So you have Poly, which you can probably get Poly. You can use Poly. You got 2 monsters on field. If they have 2 cards you just want to get rid of, you can play Poly on Abyss and Blue Eyes and, let's say, Jet Dragon, to bring out that 3,300 fusion monster that pops 2 and draws, depending on how many materials you use from hand and on field. You can also use this to with the same card, you can sacrifice this with the 2 cards to pop 1 on the field, draw 2 cards, and then you have a fusion. You still have this. You can go into Tyrant. Like, there's so many things you can do. You can even overlay for the rank 4. I mean, I'm bugging. Rank 8, which will get this in graveyard, and that's 4,000. So then you'll just play Ultimate Fusion, putting back Blue Eyes Ultimate and Chaos to go into Magia, and that's 9,000 damage right there. Whether you chose to do that, or you can boost up your monsters. So, Ultimate's on this. You can play Poly if you want, because if you want to get the boost. For fully summoning out Tyrant, and then you can play Ultimate Fusion for your Magia. Then you can banish your Abyss Dragon, his graveyard effect, boosting them both by 1,000. He will be 44. He will be 6,000. You destroy something, you still have Jet in graveyard that will summon out itself upon being destroyed by battle, or card effect. You still got your 3 negates. There's multiple different things you can do. And rewinding yet again. if you had went the route with True Light, Summoning Monk, like if you went the other route of you went into Sage or Summoner's Monk, I mean, I keep saying Summoner's Monk, I apologize. Uh, if you went Maiden's route to set this, to set wishes, this would still be the same setup if you want to set up for the two Magias. But at this point, now you have a dragon that searched out Poly, and you have Maiden, which is a spellcaster. So if you want to combat any dragon spellcaster deck, if you're mirroring or whatever, you already searched out Poly because Abyss searches out Poly when Blue Eyes is on the field. Thanks to Raw, you can Poly your Abyss with your Maiden. That's a generic dragon and spellcaster. And bring out Centurion Dragon, which basically stops stuff. Like if you're in a mirror match against dragons or spellcasters in general, it would stop their effects from activating point blank. The ones that are special summon. So there are ways around it, but like this is an alternative as well. And it's also a dragon. So it's a dragon level 8. And then you can still proceed. You can go Tyrant. Because you need the card in the graveyard. Then you can hit them with Ultimate, putting back this. Putting back Ultimate for Magia. And I say it's a dragon for the simple fact that you can still use Abyss's effect to banish it from graveyard, and then you would power them all up because it powers up level 8 or higher dragon monsters. So even with its negative effect of cards that you control that are banished, it gets decreased by 100, which is the wishes, because you banish wishes to do the combo. You could go Centurion Dragon and he'll get boosted by 1,000. So instead of being 29 as an egg, he'll be 39, 44, and 6,000. And there's just so many options to go from there. And chilling with my homegirl a lot. She said she remembered when Mai played Seal of Ariconcos, which is why it's there. And she said she wouldn't mind playing me and just playing Harpies with Seal of Ariconcos, playing for fun. And then I was like, I have a Seal of Ariconcos QCR. And I was like, I wonder which one of my decks I can put it in just to freaking troll. And then we could even go to a tournament and see how many souls we can take playing around. And she said that would be hilarious. And it would be more to troll, but there are builds within Yu-Gi-Oh! That it wouldn't do nothing, like with the horror stuff. The spell card protects them from being non-targeting destroyed. Which is what True Light with what this card does. And then imagine the horrors cards having the Seal of Ariconcos on their foreheads will be hilarious to me. I'm very animated, so it's like it's funny as hell in my head. All 4 Egyptian cards getting on the field and getting the 500 power bonus. Then I was like, what else can they put him in? And it's like it destroys your special summon cards. So it's like there's a workaround where it's like if you have, I can just show you if you have whatchamacallit. And I was like, I wanted to watch it, so I was like, I'm literally gonna be putting Silver Ariconcos in one of my decks and just watching the dub with it. But if you have Cypher, the first time a card would be destroyed by card effect or battle or point blank, any of your cards, it is not. So you can set up your field, and then when you play Silver Ariconcos, Cypher would protect everything, and you still would get the bonus. So then, to me in my head, and just super animated, like I said, I love trolling sometimes, and remember to have fun. This is a hobby to me. This is not a job. This is not a collector thing. I get to do what I couldn't do growing up. So it's like I love it. So Blue Eyes has Seal of Arcancos on his head. Cypher, all of them. Magi's powered up. They also have an additional 1,000 because I banished Abyss, so that's why they're powered up. He just gets the 500 because he's a rank, not a level. So he would protect them, and then it's like I'm planning on putting Seal of Arcancos in my. I can put it either in my Horus Centurion deck because they play this. I play this, or my Blue Eyes Primite build, which also has this, but it's more. It has a synchro package which includes this. I want to put it in my Blue Eyes Horus build, but I don't have this synchro, and it would destroy everything else except the Horus cards. And then it's like if I'm working on this, it would get destroyed, which would destroy this one too. But when this one's destroyed by card effect, I can bring back Magia since I summon it properly. So it's like if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, I can float it into a light dragon, which will bring this back. But I'm like, it would destroy everything, so it's like still annoying. If I play Seal of Arcancos, but I thought Seal of Arcancos on top of the horror stuff would just have been funny. I'm bored as hell, so it's like most of my decks do good, and I like being a rogue player. And I've been playing Blue Eyes. If you look back at my YouTube, I have a video from 2013. I like being an actual Blue Eyes player, playing the decks, and I have 2 Magias in this build. I have 1 Magia in my Primite, and I have another Magia in, I want to say, a beginner level Blue Eyes deck that I have. So that way if somebody wants to play, I can teach them, and they have the boss monster they can summon out if they want to teach them everything. I feel like having a Blue Eyes deck without Magia, and it's so affordable, is just wrong. Also, my opinion, decks that are playing like 30 hand traps and 10 Blue Eyes stuff, it's not a Blue Eyes deck. You're just stopping other people from playing, and to me that's not even a challenge. I like to play. So the fact that I even got second place with Blue Eyes Centurions, I love the Egyptian stuff, I love the Blue Eye stuff. Sometimes there's a lot of people saying, oh, but you're playing so many bricks. I'm like, every deck has bricks. If you go first and you summon, you have only your engines that do nothing, those are all bricks going second. If you went first or second and all you see was hand traps and you draw into a hand trap but no engine, that means you brick too. And there's times all of those happen to my opponents. I see pure engine, I can go off. They don't see no hand traps. They brick to me. They see only hand traps, no engine. They stop certain things, but I still get monsters on board. And then they draw into another hand trap. They bricked. I'm capitalized on these victories because I'm seeing 2 different engines that I love that just go off. And sometimes you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. And this video took a while because I was procrastinating and also looking at my babies. I cleaned my tank aside also from trying to figure out what deck I want to put that in, and I was thinking about taking those out because I want to play with the eggs. And I know they're slower, but playing with my friends that we're just playing just to play, we don't have to play competitive. I miss playing with the eggs, and they can do stuff on their own too and just go off and just have fun while we're watching TV, eating food, drinking drinks, and just relaxing. Let me show you my babies. I changed up the tank, and this is all possible because I served 8 years in the military, so I get to do all of these fun things I love now. But I changed up my tank, which is what I was looking at for a while. And I put more stuff in it. It might look a little cluttered, but I think it's fine. But it was more room for the babies to swim around and hide. See the babies? There's a bunch. It's not only those. And these are the parents, Red Terror Siglets. So literally I've been just staring at the tank, looking at the cards, figuring out what I want to do with the eggs. It slows it down, but I want to enjoy it and have fun. And now I want to put Seal of Arcancos in one of the decks just to super troll and it would have to be one of the decks that is either just horse, because it's gonna destroy all the negates and stuff like that, or like you saw in the video, just all the other things. There's a bunch of babies. Get out the way. They're so tiny. I just wanted the experience. So as they get bigger, whoever wants one can have one if you live in New York. But yeah, that's the father. The mother's more colorful. Yeah, that's about it. Sorry the video took long, but there's alternatives. I actually like playing Blue Eyes and playing within everything it has. It's like you don't have to just play 10 Blue Eyes cards and hand traps to try to win. Like sometimes you brick and you lose because of that. And if you see so much of your actual deck, they have so much fuel, you can just keep going and get wins and actually play the game. Play the game. Well, later. Remember to love what you play what you love, and I hope everybody's doing good. I know life is hard, so here's a virtual hug, and just keep being you. Try to just think outside the box, and always remember KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Sometimes the simplest things can bring you victory. Much love.